As we go, I mean, it's also now the point too where these guys have been playing these characters for 8 years or 8 seasons, and you know, a lot of times they fall right into it, you know. And it's weird sometimes when I listen to the podcast, Jeff sounds like Griff to me. So they're just they're immersed in the characters. It's wonderful.
I actually had a simple question. I'm wondering why did you guys actually go with the independent animation inside of this last 2 or 3 seasons compared to just using the engine from the Halo universe?
Should I take it? I didn't go. Why did we choose to use animation in this last season as opposed to just straight machinima? Did you see what we did?
Talk about it 10 minutes later. Right? Well, I think, yeah, I mean, like he's saying, it's like a lot of things have to be off screen. We always make a joke that with machinima, we could write anything as long as we only use 7 verbs, and as long as one of those verbs appeared on the Xbox controller, like jump or punch or look, you know, and then says, this is look, and this is look dramatically. So it was, I think after, on the internet, it's like, you know, we have people that love Red vs. Blue and watch it all the time, but it's one of those things where after 8 years, you have to try things to make it fresher. We had a lot of philosophies over the years of, you know, make it look exactly like it does coming out of the game, and then we would only add in stuff into the PSAs, and then we'd add in other elements. So it's just a slow evolution. I mean, sometimes we do things that they kind of hit you in the face, like when a warthog comes crashing through a wall, but it's all just, you know, on the spectrum of where we're going. But, you know, machinima is still just a super efficient way to produce, and, you know, we can still produce 5 minutes of machinima in just a few days, and, you know, everything else, like Monty stuff. What was the longest thing you ever worked on?
8 months. 8 months for some of my own stuff. Some of this stuff was like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, the text fight was, I'd say, a good 4 or 5 months. And he's already working on the next thing while we're kind of kicking around and still working on, you know, getting the DVDs out and all that. So it's just a longer period of time. So we think we have a good mix, and we're just going to try to make it as good as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Bye.
So a big part of my experience with Red vs. Blue has been sharing it with all of my friends, you know, bringing them over and introducing them to the characters. Do you find at this stage, you guys are still evangelizing? Is this your evangelism right now, when you share Red vs. Blue with others?
I think Red vs. Blue is still the number one way that people find us. Although we have so many different things we do now, like, Jeff, you talked about Achievement Hunter. I mean, yeah, we make Achievement Hunter. Podcast, right, we're lousy with it too. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's one of those things where we constantly get surprised too, because we've been doing it for so long that we think everyone who would want to see Red vs. Blue has already seen it, but we run into people all the time at Xbox-specific events or Halo events, and they've never heard it, you know, to this day.
Yeah, at Comic-Con, we were selling our Griffball Athletic department shirt. It's a really cool orange shirt that's available with 571. And I had so many people come up to me and go, "Oh wow, a Griffball shirt. What's Red vs. Blue?" You know, so that happened like 20 times probably.
I've been watching you guys for a couple years, and it's been amazing, and it's lots of fun. I have a question for Monty. I've been watching like the Dead Fantasy series and the Road series and all that kind of stuff, and just the action that's in it is completely amazing. And I'm just wondering, like, have you had martial art experience before or anything? Or just like the choreography and everything is just wow.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's a combination of many different experiences. I mean, I spent some years in martial arts, some years in dance. Yeah, you just make everything useful, you know?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
A lot of times what you see, when you see like Tex fighting meta,
Yes.
that's Monty fighting as meta, then turning around and fighting as Tex.
Yeah. I would go into a tiny ass vocab group, and then combo in one direction, and then turn around and block in the other direction. It's about a 4-foot space. I got like 2 punches, reset back, and then 2 punches again. But that stuff like when Meta did that flying punch to Tex, that was me jumping from one side of the room to the other. I nearly punched through one of our windows.
You mentioned also like you put the video together and like the fist is like through someone else's chest, or is it like does it orient or show the?
You know, despite how much motion capture gives you, there's a lot of work that goes into it afterwards. It definitely doesn't make it free. You have to, a lot of tweaking. So, I'm punching an imaginary version of myself that I'm picturing in front of me. It's not going to be completely correct, so it'll probably go through itself plenty of times. I mean, like that in text fight where Tucker turned black, I was Sarge punching straight down and Griff kicking him while I was Tucker. So I was giving myself a headlock and punching myself and kicking myself and being hit by myself at the same time.
You must really hate yourself.
Thank you.
All right, so my question is really more about the history of RVB, because the original, the characters having their guns down was a glitch of the avatars looking down and the head pops up. So my question is, who discovered that? Who takes credit for creating Red versus Blue, essentially?
Who takes credit for Halo? I think it's Bungie, right?
I discovered it on now, don't you?
Yeah, we were just trying to find a way to do it. And actually, if you look at the trailer for Red versus Blue, they're pointing their guns at each other in the last shot. And we made the trailer kind of I was trying to explain what it was, and it seems pretty clear now that you know what we've seen Red versus Blue, that the idea that we're going to use a video game to make a movie, it makes sense, but it didn't really make a lot of sense when I first started talking about it.
It's like when you meet someone and you try to explain to them what machinima is and they have no idea.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
But then once you see it, so we made that trailer to do that, and then we discovered before episode 1 that if you looked all the way down, they would bring their heads up. So, and I can tell you there's a ton of things in Red vs. Blue that are those serendipitous moments where we can't believe how things come together. There was one just recently, I can't remember what it was, but it's just like, wow, what a crazy timing that this is how this worked out. So, there's been a lot of hard work, and there's been a lot of luck along the way as well. A lot of good opportunities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the fight sequence you did, what kind of animation software do you guys use?
I use the worst one. Software doesn't make the movie, so I use the one that gives me the least amount of possibilities. It's called Poser.
They're ringing endorsement. You just give it.
Thank you.
What advice would you give a beginning film student?
I'd say the easiest way to put it would be, and most people who ask this are usually studying animators or such. I'd say you don't want to be an animator. You want to be a filmmaker who uses animation, because animators don't make movies. They work for people who make movies.
Monty studies a lot. It's while he's working, he has a monitor almost on a light stand, a C-stand right next to him. He's always playing something and watching something while he's working too. He's constantly seeing what other people are doing. Like after I brought in the Avatar Blu-ray, he watched Avatar in its entirety at 33% speed, just sitting there watching it. So he's watching it essentially almost frame by frame before yeah, and he just watches it over and over again, sees what people do. And
I'd recommend being observant is probably the most important things. I'd even say perception is more important than talent.
But Matt, what about beginning filmmakers? What do you say?
I'm just calculating how much time we lost on making the text fight seem like money watching Avatar.
I have a bag of cookies my mom made. Do you guys want them?
What's that?
A bag of cookies for my mom. Would you like them?
What are we going to say, no?
You saw that physique I have. It takes a lot of work.